Good morning, everyone. How you doing? I have some really interesting news that concerns uh, my personal life, but also is big news for a lot of other people that have been trying to make it through being a targeted individual. And there's so many different types of targeting. There's so many different things that people go through, but in general, people are being stalked, harassed, and slandered in an organized fashion all over the world. And I've been going through this for a long time. I started researching this in middle of April, beginning of May of 2017. And it's been nuts since then. It has been like living in a dream, a nightmare. And I've been making progress through over the last 2 years, little by little by little by little, and I've gone from the point where when I first started researching this, when I realized that this was not organic, this wasn't just happening in my life. I've learned so much in the last 2 years. Now we're kind of at, it's coming to a head here. The base that I used to work at, sorry, I'm getting a little scruffy here. This base, 144th Fighter Wing. I worked for the headquarters group. If you go on, just go on your computer, go to Google or DuckDuckGo, and type in 144th Fighter Wing scandal. You will find 6 pages of articles from the LA Times to Military Now, Air Force Times, PBS.org, US News, The Telegraph, SM Daily Journal, Herald Media, just top commander of California, let's see, USA Breaking News. There's 6 pages of news about the 144th Fighter Wing being involved in a scandal regarding whistleblowers being targeted. My base that I worked at, people I worked directly with, that I have, literally their names are on, some of these people's names that got fired are on a list of names that I have of people that were involved in my targeting. And I have it dated. I should have brought that down here. No longer can anyone say, you're delusional, what are you thinking, you're schizophrenic, nobody would be after you. Yeah, they would be. And here's the proof right here. Again, my base, I worked there for 15 years. In the Guard, you can stay at the same base. You just deploy and go on TDYs and do your job at the Guard base. But I was active duty for 5 years at this base. When I say I worked with these people, I don't mean that like I was just in a meeting with them every once in a while, because I've talked about meetings being across from the commander. I have literally taken a couple of these guys out of a jet, like during training. I didn't have to do any pilot extrications, real life. Like we had an actual pilot that was out, do a lot of training. We had actual aircraft emergencies, just not one that I had to pull a pilot out of a plane. But I worked in incident command classes with these guys. Actually, there was a couple of these guys were most likely in that class that I was in the week before the Twin Towers were destroyed. I've gone on deployments with these people. I've spent a lot of time with these people, working directly with them. A bunch of them are fired now. Unfortunately, I see the guy that's still in public affairs. I guess he wasn't high enough up on the rung to get axed, but they definitely need a new public affairs officer at the 144th Fighter Wing. Any kind of truth that needs to come out of that place will not go through Charles Vaughn. That guy personally destroyed projects of mine. He lied
about times that we were supposed to meet up for events, commander's call. He would always point me in the wrong direction. He'd try to tell me, hey, you have a meeting over here at this place. I'd show up, there'd be no meeting. I went to Tyndall Air Force Base. Our F-16s went out to Tyndall Air Force Base for dissimilar aircraft combat training. So they went out and they would go up and they would do some training with the F-35 Lightning and the, what else were they? No, I'm sorry, it was the F-22 on that trip. It was the F-22. I spent 2 weeks out there. I made one of the best documentary type films that I'd ever made. It was amazing, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. But I shot this video of drones taking off, just like a rocket, the remote control rocket. They go up, they fly around, our jets go up, and basically they shoot this thing out of the sky. It falls into the ocean, the Navy goes out, they scoop it up with a net, they bring it all back in, and and then they debrief the whole mission and all this stuff, and so it can be as real as possible. I got to be the one that documented that whole thing. So I went to Tyndall with, actually it was Christian Jadot, who I went with, another journalist. He worked for Fox News right down the street for a little while. He edited some of Fox News's stuff. I wonder how Christian's doing. He was a friend of mine. Anyway, I put this video together. I brought it back. That was my job, to go there and document the whole story. I brought it back. I showed some of the pilots that had been on the mission, and one of the pilots, I liked him. He was cool. He was a former Army Ranger. He saw the video I showed. He just happened to stop by the office, and I was like, "Hey man, I got this video done from Tyndall if you want to check it out." And he watched it, and I mean it's pretty tough to impress an F-16 pilot, especially one that was formerly an Army Ranger. There's not a lot that impresses those guys, you know? And he was excited about it. He was like, "Man, this is badass. I can't wait to show the guys. I can't wait to show the commander." So all the F-16 pilots and the commander, everybody, they were going to come down to the shop and check this video out. And I just got done showing it to them. So they said, "Hey, we're going to come in Monday. Come check this out." Or I don't know, it was going to be the next day or a couple days or something like that. So the commander of the base comes down. Was it Saeed or Garrison at the time? I really don't remember. It was either Sammy Saeed or Colonel Clay Garrison. And they came down and they were all ready to check it out, get on my computer, which only I have access to my computer. There's a CAC card, CAC, Common Access card, you put into your computer, put in your PIN number. No one else can get into your computer. So the time I logged off my computer, that video was fine. You see where I'm going with this, right? I log back in, all the pilots show up, they're anticipating this video that I did, and I go to show them, and it looks like the old TVs with just the static, the ant fight. And Charles Vaughn is standing right behind me with his arms folded, and he's got that little narcissistic supply smirk on his face. And he says, "Oh," immediately, like before he even had time to think about it, he goes, "Oh, that file's corrupt. That must be corrupt. That file must be corrupt. Oh well." And then he walked off into another room, and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me. Wait, who has access to this computer? Why would this do this? It worked fine." Guess who is the computer network administrator in our office? Charles Vaughn. So he knew that these guys were going to like that. He wanted a full-time job out there. This guy would put his ass so far up, his head so far up people's asses for anything. And he would, man, I'd take photos of him. Not that I was the perfect employee, nobody is, you know, but this guy would just sleep half the day. I'd take pictures of him. He'd just be barely hanging over. Former Marine. Not giving Marine shit. I'm just saying Marines would look at this guy and be like, "God, nasty." Here's how they would do it. Here's how a Marine would do it. "You're nasty. You're nasty. You are nasty." That's not me. That's a Marine. Seen it happen. You guys would do this to Charles Vaughn. Plus, he went to the Air Force. So can you call him a Marine anymore? I don't know. So anyway, that guy destroyed my video. He destroyed government property. They paid me a lot of money to go. I mean, not a lot of money, but like, you know, just my paycheck. But still not a terrible paycheck. Was I a staff sergeant at the time? I think I was staff sergeant. Making staff sergeant pay is not bad. I would love to have staff sergeant pay right now. I can hardly make it with this business. So that guy destroyed my video. And all those guys looked at me like I just didn't follow through. At least the one pilot saw it. What the hell was that guy's name? I don't remember his name. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, Army Ranger, always. Actually, we went to teen camp. We took all these kids to up to YMCA lake area, and they had like a rock climb wall, and the pilots taught them how to survive in the water. Yeah, water survival tactics, eating moss, eating ants, you know, stuff like that. Team building, all that good stuff. That guy then just got back from like a deployment with, I don't know, somewhere in Russia or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. He was telling us a story about jumping out of airplanes with the Russians. But that guy was nonstop. He'd be doing I don't know, not Taibo, but like some workout. What was it? Anyway, some popular workout video where we're up at like teen camp. He's in dirt, like doing up downs, running, jumping jacks and stuff like that. The rest of us over here sitting down, hanging out. Colonel Best playing the guitar. I don't know. So anyway, folks, you know, I'm trying to stay humble here and not say I told you so, but I told you so. I've been telling you people, these people at my base, I mean, I've gone through, if you know my story, I've gone through long-term trauma-based mind control my entire life. As far back as I can remember, there have been long-term trauma-based setups to try to give me dissociative identity disorder, which when my life left, geez, was that a Freudian slip? When my wife left, she had made all these knittings, and they were all these different patterns that almost looked like a secret code or something like that. And my aunt, who seemed like she might be possibly involved in this whole thing, I was the ring bearer at her wedding, and just, I don't know, she sent my aunt one of these weavings that said multiple personalities. This is like a week before she left. So I've gone through that for a long time, but I do believe that I went through additional targeting, most likely under FISA Section 702. They tried to say that I was some kind of foreign terrorist or something like that because I like to take photos, and everywhere I would go, I'd take photos. I took photos at Fire Academy. I took photos at DINFOS, the Defense Information School, which is right across the street from the NSA. Geez, yeah, one of the largest NSA facilities. The most popular NSA facility. Everybody probably knows about Fort Meade by now. Yeah, I lived there twice. I have been surveilled, stalked, slandered, manipulated, attacked. I've gone through so many things. And in some of these instances that, like one time, I'm pretty damn sure that I got away from them trying to kill me and steal my organs. I'm typo negative. I should not say that on film, but, you know, whatever. I'm pretty damn sure I got away from that day. And if I didn't, they were at least using the PSYOP to make me think that that was the case. And I've talked about this. I ended up going to a place that was supposed to be a swap meet. Went inside, and they had all these like blue curtains up and a bunch of like medical tables, and I couldn't see back there very well. People were trying to kind of block my view. People started gathering around me, like a lot of them. And then my wife all of a sudden says, "Hey, I forgot something in the car. I'm gonna go get it." And she turns around and takes off, and all these people are starting to kind of gather in around me. And I'm like, yeah, this is not normal. And I broke through the circle and followed her out to the car because my intuition started kicking in, and you notice that things are odd. You go. I go out there. She's walking up to a lady. My wife's got a handbag. The other lady's got a handbag. They're walking up to each other. They hear the door shut. Me coming out of the building. My wife turns around and looks. They break their path. They're both walking directly towards each other. They both break their path and walk back to their cars. The lady walks back to her car. My wife walks back to our car. And I come out and I say, "What was that?" She said, "What do you mean, what was that? I was just going to the car to get some stuff." I said, "No, you and that lady were walking to each other." And she just denied it. She got nervous. She didn't ever get nervous, but they got caught doing something. So it was either they were going to make a money exchange. Here's this money for this guy's, probably not my liver. I'm guessing not my liver. Lungs, they probably don't want those anymore after I've been doing this thing. Some organ would be worth, a few $1 million or something like that. That happens, folks. You understand that, right? You get that happens. So I made it through so much going through this thing. So I'm really happy to see that this base finally got called out for targeting people. They've used it. Look at the articles. There's 6 pages of articles here. Half of them say targeting whistleblowers. So my name is Michael John Barden. I worked for the 144th Fighter Wing from 1999 to 2013. Into 2013, I was a crash fire rescue firefighter for 5 years. I worked directly with almost every single one of these people that were fired for targeting people. I was harassed by some of these people. And now there's an alarm going off right outside my house. Imagine that. I'm excited. I don't know. I still don't know. There's residual impact when they do these kind of things. There's not, "Hey, it's over. Your life's gonna be great. Just go ahead and start over." The kind of things that they do to you carry on like radioactive material. It just goes on for a long time. The trauma that's been built up over time, the financial destruction, the destruction of the social life, credit, yeah, that's part of the financial. Your good name, your reputation, destroyed. People that get a text message on their phone to identify you and it says something terrible about you that you've never done and you can't even respond to that. Even if this all ended tomorrow and they call me up, "Hey, your name was on the list, you weren't supposed to be on there, we're sorry, have a good day." But what do you do after that? I don't even have the finances to try to sue somebody right now. You have to sue somebody, you have to have an attorney, and you have to go through all the bureaucracy, and that's how they get you, to tap you, drain. You don't have any money left, you don't have any kind of connections, a group of people that can help, and then you become destitute. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And it's getting real close. I took out a loan a few months ago to try to help float for a little while till I get through this court thing, and it's just going faster than I had hoped. So there is proof. Rod Rosenstein has just resigned. His resignation is effective May 11th. I keep hearing through the videos that I'm watching and the news that I'm reading that there are supposed to be some big days on May 4th, May 10th, and May 20th. I have court on May 8th. And I can't help but feel like all of this is going to get released like at the end of the month. The judge is pissed off at me right now. He already tried to trick me into failing to appear, telling me to be back in 45 days and then setting the court date 30 days out. Which I made it in, but he's going to be pissed off at me because I'm saying stuff about him on these videos. I'm sure he's watching these videos. He's probably not supposed to. or somebody is getting this information to him. They know everything that I do. So he could, on the 8th, he could go ahead and say, no, I'm going to go ahead and sentence you, even though you have all this evidence. This article just came out in the LA Times and 100 other things about the base that you work out. People got targeted illegally. And so yes, there is plausible, or there is a possibility, I can't use all their words. There's a possibility that, you may have been set up. Let's go ahead and let this go to trial. But he could go ahead and sentence me on the 8th and say, you know what, you're going to do a few weeks in jail. I want you to understand that what you've done is wrong. When we can't get past the part where like, I didn't do this, we need to go back way farther than this. Maybe here, starting at the 144th Fighter Wing when I got targeted. So we'll see what the judge does. We'll see if he actually wants justice, if he wants the truth, or if he wants to punish me and put me away while all of this information is released. And I actually have a chance to regain my life. I've filed formal complaints with all these people. I'm not going to let them push me. They can go ahead and prove that they're tyrants if they want. If they want to prove they're tyrants, that's fine. I raised my hand to protect the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic, and right now it seems like I'm dealing with some domestic terrorists. So here's my mission. I just don't get a paycheck for it anymore. All right, everybody. Rod, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. Rod Rosenstein, in his resignation, mentioned Robert Johnson. I believe that was the lead prosecutor. If I'm getting his name wrong, I'm sorry. I think it was Robert Johnson. He was the lead prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials. So Rod Rosenstein quoted Robert Johnson. I've been talking about the Nuremberg trial 2.0 for how long? Anybody that watches all my videos, it's immediately clicking in your head. If not, go back and pick a video, man. I talk about it all the time. You should find it in there pretty easy. Nuremberg trials 2.0. What I've gone through is a human rights violation. It's a hate crime. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Title 18, U.S. Code 2440 and 2441. Also 2661, that's stalking. I just heard, who was the journalist? God, I can't think of his name right now, of course. He was interviewing Adam Schiff, and said, hey, it doesn't seem like you're investigating the president anymore. It seems like you're stalking him. So this word is starting to get out there into mainstream. People are starting to understand what's going on and how creepy this whole thing is. And I'm pretty damn happy about that. I just hope that I get to see the end of it again. I need to stay out of jail long enough to get some proof. If I could get my name unmasked off of one of these lists, that'd be it. That would be it right there. There would be no more anything. And show who targeted me, who, just like the Stasi police, when they were all uncovered, they had all the files on each one of the victims that they had. They kept all of the lies and all of the, what they had done to that person, basically. They kept records. I don't know if our people are keeping records now. They can just hit delete on a database or something, and then I don't know. Hopefully that stuff's been tracked. Metadata, NSA kept all that stuff. I don't know. But yeah, Stasi got to open those folders, and all of the victims got to read in the folders that were what was said about them, what was done to them. And I really honestly don't know if those people were reimbursed, if they, indemnified is the word for their loss. And it's hard to indemnify someone after keeping them from their true potential, because you never know how far that person would have made it. Being indemnified means, like, say you're driving your car, somebody hits your car, you lose your car's worth $20,000. if you don't get a $20,000 car back, you get a $10,000 car back. You were not indemnified. So that's it's tough to do, to indemnify a person based on what their potential would have been if they had not been hit with the wave, the wall, the whatever they want to call this, being stuck in these programs that disenfranchise you from society. I don't know. I know I sure as hell like to be indemnified by a little piece of property. No, not little, like 40 acres, and then buy a little house, a couple storage containers, keep my antiques and collectibles, and then like a metal shop, 100 by 100 foot metal shop that I could put like a couple old trucks in and a bunch of antiques. That's all I want to do with the rest of my life. It's not asking too much. After going for this for too long, that's all I want. That's it. I keep looking at my computer here like I'm gonna read something on here. I feel like I'm forgetting something every time I do one of these videos. I don't have a script. I just feel like talking and I just get on here and talk. Yeah, this commander that was released also has known my wife since she was a little kid, my ex-wife, and they're both from the same town. The police officer that was arresting me the morning I was arrested. Oh, I just thought of this. I'm not trying to sound like Bill Burr, but I know I just did. I just thought of this. Okay, so Colonel Clay Garrison is from Madera, California. My ex-wife is from Madera, California. The morning I got arrested on January 4th, year and a half ago, the officer that put me in his vehicle and was searching me made sure to tell me that he was from Madera, California. So do you think possibly if he went to high school in Madera, California, and he was in some kind of citizen corps group or something like that, and Colonel Clay Garrison knew that I was getting close to finding out who targeted me or who was at least involved in my targeting and let it carry out, do you think that he could not somehow, through his network, maybe contact somebody from his hometown, or my ex-wife could contact somebody from their hometown that just happens to be a police officer here in Avondale, Arizona, and arrests me on January 4th, 3 weeks after I report organized stalking and harassment and child trafficking, child abuse when I was a kid? Could they not possibly have contacted each other and said, make sure this guy goes in? We'll have an ex-cop, Russell Roberts. We'll have him antagonize this guy and get him to, Russell's an asshole. He bothers us all, so when he can get under somebody's skin, we'll get him to just get in a confrontation with this guy. Have Russell say, hey, pull the gun on him, and then we'll have the arresting officer. We'll make sure that guy's there, the one that just searches him, and the guy when he's searching me is searching me, telling me, looking between my toes. He's pulling my toes apart. He's pulling them apart. Hurts. He's got a little smirk on his face, getting that narcissistic supply. And I said, what are you doing, man? I'm looking for meth. I hope that this was on the body camera footage, which I'm going to get eventually. If they don't, yeah, I would. That's on that body camera. That's part of the reason. He made sure that he told me he was from Madera, that he graduated from the same high school as my ex-wife. Come on, people. How many more connections can there be? I can't believe I just realized that. I mean, I realized the guy said he was from Madera. I've talked about that before, but not the fact that Clay, my ex-wife, this guy here, boy, I would really like to see the NSA data tracking the conversations between these people, or if they did it covertly enough, do it through like notes or something like that. I would bet they did it wirelessly, and in their conversations when they are putting out the hit, I'm going to go ahead and call it the hit because they tried to destroy my life. This guy actually that I'm talking about, I got out, and I knew that this was a setup. I knew this was a setup. They had been fucking with me for the whole time I've been here. Slowly ramping it up. I knew that they were setting me up. I got out of my truck underneath the streetlights. I might be incriminating myself, but I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. I put my hands up as far as I could, like this. I looked like an idiot, but I didn't want to go like this and have him say, well, he was reaching here or something like that, because I didn't want to be full of holes. I just got done talking about the police officer in Mesa, which I'm supposed to go to Mesa today to go see my attorney, and we're going to have a phone call. I'm not going to Mesa. Those guys, every time I go to Mesa, they do something crazy. So anyway, I just got done talking about that. I get out. I'd love to get this video. Send me my exculpatory evidence, people. Got my hands up like this. Cop gets out of his car. I'm under a street light. He can clearly see me. I parked under the street light intentionally. He can clearly see me. I've got my hands up like high as I can. Like a moron. Guy still gets out. Fucking, what'd he say? Get on your face. Get on the curb. Fucking shoot you. Something like that. Come on. Give me this video, people. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that didn't happen. What did he say? Oh, actually, you know what? I have that part. I have that part on my own video. That's on a YouTube video here prior. So I've got all of this evidence backing up the fact that I was most likely targeted. Additionally, I went through stuff before this, but at this base. 6 pages of articles. LA Times, everything. Air Force Times. I can't think of anything else to talk about right now. This is like, I don't know if it's bittersweet or if it's this is good. All of this is good information. I'm hoping the timing isn't too late and I can be vindicated. I can be exonerated from this nightmare that I've been living through. So I'm gonna go. I need to get to work. It's 9:30. I've got some paperwork to file, more paperwork to file for court, and I'm gonna go pray a little bit today. I'm gonna do that too. You know, I'm not the biggest about talking about all that stuff, but I still do it. I don't know what happens when you pray, but man, maybe if it's just positive reinforcement. I don't know. I hope there's God. Sometimes I feel like I see God working in different ways, but knowing the technology that some of these folks have, I don't want to get tricked. Probably shouldn't end up. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Don't know what else to do right now. So everybody out there, I know I'm being selfish. There's so many other people that are going through this, but everybody out there, whatever your religion is, whatever your faith, if you just think good vibes or happy thoughts, or you want to pray to your God, if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. There was a big group of people in India, prayer group in India, thousands of them, and they would pick a person and pray for that person. Karen Melton Stewart sent me a message and said, hey, I sent your name to these people. There's thousands of people in India praying for you. And even though I pushed away from the church a long time ago, the organized church, not spirituality, it felt really good. I got goosebumps. I was like, wow, there's thousands of people praying for me right now in India, another country. It's all positive. I have to go. I have to pee right now. And I'm not going to go pee in anybody's boots. That would be organized stalking and harassment. And I'm glad somebody got caught doing that. Everybody have a great day.